Hi everybody, this is Belinda from Belinda's Book Nook, and I just thought I recorded this video and I finished and I went and looked and I never pushed record. So this is take two, and I don't know if take two will be as good as one. I wish you heard me then, but I'm gonna try again. I can't believe it, and I'm smiling now, but things were said when I realized the error. Okay, so today is my Friday reads, my little bit of wrap up, and also some book mail. So that's cool. All right, so this month I have been working on several books and a secret book, actually two secret books. The first that you guys know about, and I did finish it, was Washington Black, and she just hit it at the park. Ending was just as good. It was excellent. I stay at the stance of it is a 5-star read. And I'm not much of a person that does, oh, this is a 3.5 and da-da-da. I shouldn't say that. I do that in my journal, book journal. But usually on the channel, I just say I liked it or didn't like it, or this, I talk about what I got from it or what I didn't, what I made me feel, more so than that. But this one just had all the feels. It covered everything, and it was so atmospheric. It was just so good. I have a video that I'm going to record and release next week. That will be my thoughts and takeaways, so please watch it. For this one, I don't know. Now I feel like deja vu. I'm saying everything I said before. Another book that I had in here is A Spy in the Struggle by Aya de Leon. Now remember, I think I talked to you the past 2 weeks that the book was kind of, it was good in the beginning, and then it kind of, I don't know if it was a pacing issue or I just wasn't connecting necessarily. I'm not sure. But she did redeem herself. The story picked up the last 100 pages, and it reminded me a lot of the book by Alyssa Cole, that thriller we just read last year, at the end of the year. What was it? No One Is Watching or something like that. I can't remember the name. If I had my other book journal, I'd have it right with me. It reminded me of that. Like, there was a lot of action in the last 100 pages, were just like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You're trying to keep up, and you're just, whoa, please, So that lifted the book up, because I definitely think if it continued on the path it was, I just would have been like, yeah, whatever, So there's that. So that is a complete as well. The other book that I was reading and I haven't finished is The Paper Daughters of Chinatown by Heather B. Moore. These are ebooks. That's why I don't have the actual physical copy of them. And I did show them to you, so I don't want to keep showing the same thing. But that one is a really good book. I don't know why I keep putting it down, but it is a large book. It's over 500 pages. So I am going to do my best to try to wrap that up by the end of this month. In likelihood, it will seep into next month, which really disappoints me, because I really want to try to have less. It's okay every now and then, but you just want to try not to, and if it's a spillover, I want it to be just, a short amount. I definitely have a significant amount, so I don't know if I'll be able to pull it off. That's what I'm saying for this month. But I have a lot of books that I'd like to read next month, so I don't know how that's going to happen. I will finish that book before the year's end, let's just say that, and likely within the next few months, if not at the end of this month. That one is really good. That's the one I told you about, the early, I think the late 1800s, early 1900s, I guess, of Chinese, young Chinese girls being brought, sometimes kidnapped, to the United States for sex, and treated basically like sexual slaves. And the story is about this organization and this woman in particular that goes and rescues these girls. So there's that. Very good book. Now, I had a secret book that I was reading, and I didn't mention. So I did finish that one. And I guess I can tell you now, because I don't know if I'm going to do a wrap-up, because this is kind of a wrap-up. Take a Hint, Dani Brown by Talia Hibbert. Now, I read her, Chloe Brown, Was it Take a Hint, Chloe Brown? I can't remember the name of the other one, but Chloe was in the first book, and they're sisters. So I think that the next book will be one of the other sisters, and kind of following their love story. They're just light, lovely romance novels with Black characters. And I really love the last one. Chloe had fibromyalgia, and I love that she put that into the story. The author herself experiences that fibromyalgia, and she included it in the story, and I liked how it was in that one. This one, I again, there was a lot of laughing in this one. I did laugh out loud at a lot of things in this book, and so it made it really enjoyable. So I did like that one, and I will continue reading them. They are, though, you know, I don't know, because I don't read a lot of romance novels, so I don't know if I'm just a little bit of a baby, like when I read this stuff, that I'm always like, oh my god, oh, okay, keep going, move forward faster. So I don't know if I am just, you know, a little baby. So I don't know to what degree. You know, like, for example, if you read mysteries, you have different degrees of mysteries. Like, you have, you know, very dark, gritty, you know, serial killer. And then you have like cozy mysteries. I don't know where this is. I think this is a light romance, but I don't know. Anyway. The other book that I am reading that is in secret remains secret because it has not been completed yet, and it may not be. So if it isn't, I won't talk about it till I have done it. And then another book that I was just reading, just because I'm on my journey of still not eating meat, it's called Vegan for Everybody by America's Test Kitchen. Really good. It has all sorts of really great recipes, but the cool thing about it is that I find, at least for me, you know, I'm that kind of nerd out on like the scientific behind why things work and don't work in recipes. And they do that with each of the recipes. They're like, we substituted this for this, and you know, this is why with heat that this does this and creates a binding. You know, it is so interesting to read, and I've like marked off several recipes that I definitely want to try, and I think it's just a really cool book. You know, I found lately, it's really snowing. Well, I can see it out of the corner of my eye. Over here I can't, but here while I'm talking to you, I can see that it's this big, thick, fluffy, lovely snowflakes, but it's freezing. Don't be deceived by the beauty. It's freezing here. I lost my train. Oh, I've been really loving reading these books on recipes and cookbooks and things like that. So now, so I'm not even paying attention to how much time. I don't want to go too long because it's Friday Reads. Book mail. First one. This one is a YA. It's a new release. I had heard about it. I was like, oh, you know, I'm trying to support also some of the newer authors, but I don't think this is their debut. Nope. They did another book, Dear Haiti, Love Elaine. So I think those are two other books. Oh, let's see. I think so. So, Dear Haiti, Love Elaine is the actual one book. And this one here, one of the good ones. And it says underneath it, shouldn't being human be enough. And it's by Micah, I'm not going to say it right, Molite and Maritza Molite. And the story follows a boy and a girl. And one of the reasons why, let me rewind it for a second. See, in my first video, I did it so much better. I'm liking reading books that do have some historical aspects to it, right? So I guess it's a light historical fiction, and it talks about the Tulsa riots. And in this story, we follow a boy who's very into W. Du Bois, his writing. He's always reading, and a girl, and she's kind of, you know, they peg her as kind of a goody-goody, you know, church girl, and they don't really, they don't necessarily mix these two. You know, they know of each other, but they aren't. But I guess at a rally, something happens, which I'm assuming somebody must have died, and the aftermath kind of brings her and this boy together. And one of the things that I like about it is that it talks about, you know, like when somebody is killed, being able, why do we decide, or how do we decide who is more important or of more value? You know, for example, if somebody had a prior record and the police, you know, were in an incident and the police shot them and fatally shot them and they died, why are they looked upon less because of that record versus somebody that didn't, maybe? So I think that they're going to explore that a little bit in it. The Tulsa riots also. I know that there's a Netflix show that talks about, it's loosely based on the Tulsa riots, and I'm really intrigued by that story that is kind of was left out of the history books that I grew up reading. So it's really lovely to see it in, you know, a motion picture format, and also in a YA or a regular novel as opposed to just a history book. So I'm looking forward to checking this one out. The other book that I got was, and it took a while for this one to come, I'm not sure why. It's A More Perfect Union by Tammy Huff, and this is the book that we're reading for Read So Lit with Dee Dee from Brown Girl Reading, for her Read So Lit read along for the month of February. And she has a group on Goodreads. Oh my, do I see like a ding in the cover? Okay, well, we'll look at that afterwards. Anyway, so this book is really sounds like it's up my alley. She always picks great books anyways. But this one, why I say that, it's the author is writing about her great-great-grandparents. And her great-great-grandfather was from Ireland, and he was fleeing the potato famine, and he ends up going to a Virginia plantation. I don't know why, what circumstances brings him there, or why that particular place, but he ends up, I believe, meeting her great-great-grandmother at that plantation. She is an enslaved person there. And I love to read stories about how people tell their family stories. And even though this is pegged as a historical fiction, it's another way of seeing how somebody can really lay out and connect pieces to create a story. I like to read all of that, especially for my own purposes of genealogy. Not that I'm necessarily writing a book for public perusal, but for me and how I would create story from the information that I collect that I can leave back for generations. That's more interesting to look at and more cohesive. So I'm really looking forward to seeing, reading this book and seeing more about this. The other two things are not books, but they're just things that I picked up at Target, were these two journals, I guess, or notebooks. They are like this really great plastic on the top that's nice and heavy duty. And this one, I thought the purpose that I could use this is when I use my book journal, I write my reviews and other things that I keep track of in there. That's kind of the final thing that is going to stay for history for me to look at. Oh, the snow is so pretty. And for this purpose, in this one, it has like a notes, and then it has blank space. So like, for example, when I'm reading the book for the one I just mentioned for Read So Lit, I could write down the characters in there. I could write the relationship to them, questions, quotes, things that I want to think about. And then when I go to write the review in there, I can pull from that. And this could just be a dedicated book. I can just write book notes in that aren't necessarily fleshed out for my book, because I only have limited pages in my book journal, so I can't just play around with it. But I can, at least so. And it also, just for me, is the utility, because it helps me remember what's going on in the story, who's who, and what's what. So I think that's what I'm going to use this for. This is in the dollar section. It was for $3. It's a nice one. The other one is this one, Get It Done. I thought this one's just kind of cool for when you're jotting out things that you want to do and you want it dated. So a list of to-dos. I do have a planner for that, but sometimes, again, I get very particular and I don't want it to be, because when I write the first time through, when I'm just kind of flushing out things, it's just very messy. So this is a nice place to put it before I actually, you know, I can kind of brain dump and then put this into my actual other journals that I use. Or it could be just something that's not so serious that I'm going to put anywhere. I just want it written somewhere and I can toss it at the end of the day. So I thought this one was really cool, and it has a really pretty floral cover. And again, it's got that nice heavy duty plastic around it that kind of keeps it protected from water and spills and all that stuff. So, so that's it. I think that I pushed record this time, and I was so mad when I finished. I was like, done. And no, I was not done. So anyway, I have some more videos that I'm going to be recording. One about Washington Black, the review for this. I'll be doing my list for my TBR for February / Black History Month. And I had a couple of other ideas that I wanted to offer. So hopefully February I can sneak in some other kinds of videos as well while we're celebrating Black History Month. So yeah, read it. It was so good. I can't wait to talk to you guys about what I think about it and my takeaways from it. Anyway, I'm out of here. Have a great weekend. Keep reading. Wash hands. Wear your mask. Social distance. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.